avoiding that truth that you don't want to see. But the problem is if anyone has sat with their own truth, that whatever it is that this person might be denying, if you're someone who's sat with your truth, no matter how much they deny their truth, you're going to see it. Yesterday was my birthday, and I did a little vlog in the car, but I think it was really kind of all over the place. And now I've just been thinking about things from like last year, and then 2023, my birthday of 2023, and then last year, and then this year. So in 2023, I was still on and off with an ex. I wouldn't even call it like actually together. We were more like roommates. I don't think we even slept in the same room. And if we did, it was like we were just in the same bed. It wasn't really an intimate situation. I don't really know why we were still holding on. But in 2023, we went to Lincoln City, I'm pretty sure. There was a restaurant over there that I wanted to try. It was really good. Cannot for the life of me remember the name now. And then last year, my papa was really sick. He had, I can't remember, I'm like blanking on the name. He had a bag for, instead of him being able to physically go to the restroom, he was really not doing well. There were some problems with his kidneys, and so he had a bag, and that bag had to be switched out like every 2 hours. Otherwise it would overflow and then it would get urine all over him. They didn't want to do it permanently. It was just they were hoping to work through whatever his issues were, and gratefully we were able to get through those. And that's what I was doing on my birthday last year. And then this year, he was also sick, so I stayed home. I didn't want to do anything. I don't like leaving him at home when he's not doing well. Gratefully, I think it's just a flu. So he just got back from the doctor, and they tested him for COVID, and it's not that. So I think he's just got kind of a bad flu right now, and it's kind of taken him out. So much better than last year. So much better than last year. But because he was sick, anything that I was planning on doing, I just not going to do that. But also, I don't have a lot of people in my life. I think I heard from one person yesterday, and I don't know that she did it to actually wish me happy birthday. Like, that was what was said, but I think people get guilty about like these social expectations, right? Like there's these social rules, but I'm autistic, so I can try to toe the line of the social rules, but I don't really actually do that. I'm not good at it. Just make sure that we're doing good on time. So yeah, I heard from one person yesterday, and it wasn't really like, oh my God, this hurts so bad, because I've been trained in being let down for a very long time. The family, save for my uncle, who was my dad, he wasn't my dad, but for me, he was dad. His relationship to me was by blood. He was my uncle, but he was my father, and he's who I claim is my father. When I say my father is dead, that's who I'm talking about. So anyway, I digress. This is hard to get out, because it's dragging up all of these things from my childhood that I have worked very hard as an adult to just bury. But me burying it has allowed it to kind of fester. And if you have to bury it to deal, it still has control over you. So my inner child is still screaming at 38 years old for someone to celebrate me the way I've seen every single person ever around me get celebrated, because I've never experienced that. And also, I want to clarify something. Humans will always treat us the way the general population treats us. And this is why I don't let the general population around me, because the general population has not done the amount of healing that I have done. This doesn't make me better than them. This doesn't make me worse than them. This doesn't make them better than me, worse than me. It just is what it is, okay? Anything is just what it is until you put a title onto it, until you identify it with something. I'm all over the place right now. I like my stream to come out in the flow, and it is all over the place right now. I have noticed changes in people's behaviors towards me, and I know that these are people who, one, they will watch every single one of my stories, they will see every single one of my posts, and out of spite, because I am a woman, I'm blonde, I'm autistic, haven't figured it out, don't really care, they will actively not press that like button, knowing that that like button can help me grow. And it's almost like they don't want me to grow, because they know as a photographer, my account will kind of just take off and it will end up growing, and then there's that. So I want to say full clarification that I am an energy reader. I don't tell people this anymore because it caused so many problems in my life. The people that are openly doing energy readings, they just haven't gotten to that level of healing yet where they're like, oh no. But I can read anyone to filth energetic wise. Your energy, whoever you are, you cannot hide it. It does not matter. Money, cars, things, you cannot hide your energy from someone who reads energy. So I'm an energy reader, and I have noticed the shifts in behavior with people, but also I feel like there was a movie about this, and I can't remember what movie it was, but the way they explained it, and it was such a good analogy for people to visually understand how energy affects and how people that are able to read energy. The movie, the way that they had shown this, and I can't remember what movie this is, maybe someone can like leave a comment. They have everyone in, and like just people all over. They're in a city, they're like New York, and every single person has a string attached from their head going up into the nether. You don't know where it's going up into the nethers, right? This is a very good way to explain it visually, how energy works. Every single human being has an energetic cord. So I am able to, you okay? I'm able to, like so many other people, this isn't rare at this point, okay? Because a lot of us who have been able to do this forever, our entire lives, have been treated like shit by the general population. So we don't hang out with big groups, which means we hang out alone and we get to know ourselves. This is what people don't get. It's not even like a superpower. It's that we have been denied community because we weren't cool enough. We didn't say the right things. Our clothes weren't the right clothes. Our parents didn't make the right amount of money. We have been denied community by stupid shit that we couldn't control. And the only way that we could deal with that is going within. Because for fuck's sake, if no one else wants to be around me, I should want to be around me. And this is why when you get to this point of self-love and self-elevation and awareness where you're like, oh, look, I've triggered another group. This is so not surprising. And then, depending on who you are and how you were raised, you choose to be better or you choose to be bitter. And this is where a lot of bad people are born. This is where the villain story, the villain origin story is literally born, is because you can choose to be better or you can choose to get back at them, which stunts your growth right where you are. You could be growing. The minute that you need to stop what you're doing to get back at somebody, you have just blocked yourself from all of that goodness. I don't even remember what I was talking about, why I got to this point. Oh yeah, energy shifts. So the energy shifts with people have been anything but subtle. Okay, y'all are not subtle because y'all are too busy avoiding that truth that you don't want to see. But the problem is if anyone has sat with their own truth, that whatever it is that this person might be denying, if you're someone who's sat with your truth, no matter how much they deny their truth, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. Because here's the thing, you've done your work. You recognize those triggers for what they are because you've already healed those. And it goes round and round. Who knew at 38 I'd be so poppin'? I'm fucking poppin' at 38. I feel like the younger me would be like, she's really pretty. And her hair is pretty. And she speaks so eloquently. And she doesn't shake when she speaks. I feel like the inner me would just be like, oh, I got tea all over me. Some things never change. Some things will never change. I will always be weakless. Anyway, I digress. So I didn't hear from my teenager. And at this point, anything he does to try to hurt me, it doesn't hurt me. It's like, damn, babe, you're gonna be so mad when you see the truth. And I shouldn't be laughing, but I have to laugh because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. And I didn't really cry yesterday. I cried a little bit. But I have to laugh at things because it's like, I remember when I was 16 and I was listening to a parent who was actively manipulating me against another parent so that I wouldn't be around them. And the minute that I saw that truth for what it was, I was so mad. I think that's when I became homeless, actually, because my mother, she didn't put her hands on me really when I was younger because spanking didn't work for me. So she just didn't really see a point in it. It wasn't until I got older, 16, 17, 18, where I was an adult, and she was trying to use corporal punishment as a way to get me to listen to her because she didn't like the things I said. I'm autistic. I'm autistic, and she gave me no grace. So we know how I feel about her. And if we don't, that video's coming. So anyway, yeah, when I left home at 18, it was because my mother slammed me against a wall and tried to hold me there, but she's like 5'6", and I've got a couple inches on her. This is before her scoliosis started to take over again. So, and I remember, I don't know if I picked her up by her shoulders and threw her on the bed because I was also pretty strong. I was a back for cheerleading. I was lifting girls twice her size. So I remember when she did that to me, it was literally my 18th birthday at like 9 in the morning. And I remember flipping her so that I was now in control, and I picked her up and I threw her on the bed, and I put my finger up to her and I said, "You will never touch me again, ever." And then I called a friend and I packed up like a little box of stuff and I moved out, and I was living on a couch on my 18th birthday. So when I say that birthdays are bad, let's see. No, that was after I got in an accident. My 18th birthday, I got into an accident. I was new at driving and we had gone to Cold Stone, and my ice cream, like I didn't know that it slipped, but it fell underneath the pedal. Like it had fallen down. I think we had them stacked, and we were just having a good time. I was a young kid, you know, I wasn't really paying attention. I should have been, but I wasn't. It's what you do as a young kid. This is how you learn. And it slid and fell underneath the brake pedal. So when I went to go hit the brakes, we were in like traffic on Lancaster. It wouldn't stop, and I hit the person behind me. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. It was my 18th birthday. Like that's not when you want shit to happen before your 18th birthday, so it doesn't go on your driving record, right? So like there were all these things that were hitting me at once, and it really fucking sucked. And instead of my parents being supportive, they both just laid into me like I had planned on doing that. Like I had planned on getting in an accident on my 18th birthday, and they just made me feel so fucking terrible. And I remember I was grounded on my 18th birthday. They locked me in my room on my 18th birthday. And then it was like the next day that my mother and I got in a fight over that fucking car. And that's when she put her hands on me, pushed me against the wall. I flipped her around, picked her up, and threw her on the bed because like I didn't have a bedboard. Everyone else in the house had a fucking like a bed to put their shit on. My mattresses were on the floor. Okay, like you don't. And I think that's part of why I never wanted any more than one child, is because I never wanted to accidentally become my mother by like turning the children against each other, because I had a sibling that I should have been really close with. We were only 4 years apart, and it was just her and I, because my mom worked all the time. But when my mother was in the house, she was actively finding ways to pin us against each other. I'm getting all over the place, but like I really need to just share, because here's another thing. I was getting to this earlier. I've noticed the changes in behaviors of people who don't support my work. They're actively trying to stop me from building, which you're not going to be able to stop me from building. All you're doing is putting yourself on a list of people that I will never fuck with. And I'm talking when I get good and everyone wants to pay me, you will be on a blacklist of will not ever work with, do not let them pay you. I'm that type of petty. And I will remember this shit, because when you're down like this, you remember the people who spit on you when you were down, and the ones that said, "Hey, can I help you up? You good? You want to go get a coffee?" Which I don't drink coffee anymore, but I still say yes every time, and it doesn't happen that often, okay? So the persona and the person I put out to the world, that is who I am when I'm not being attacked and pulled down by the people around me who do not want to see me grow. My child's father, my mother, my own father, my adopted father, my aunts and uncles. Like I have a big family of haters. So when outward haters that aren't my family come for me, like in big droves, you're still not as big as my family. Like y'all could get 20, 30 people together. You're still not as big as my family. And they've been doing this for years. It's so crazy to think about life. I've had one good birthday in my entire life. One good birthday. I think it was my 13th birthday. I don't know what was going on with my mom. She had like saw the light or something, but she threw me a surprise birthday party, and I had never gotten a surprise before like that. And so when I got the surprise, I started bawling, like ugly crying, and people thought there was something wrong. No, you don't understand. Nothing like this has ever been done for me before. And nothing like that has ever been done for me since I was 13. So when everybody's like, "It's my birthday month, we're gonna party and it's all about me all month." Damn, you've been loved good your life. Your parents loved you. And I don't get jealous and I don't hate these people, but I'm like, what's that like? because the only people I had like that were my grandmother and my uncle, who was dad for me. He was dad, but he didn't have anybody, and he lived the exact same life I'm living now. And so they talk about breaking the cycle, and I'm literally reliving. I'm generation 2 of reliving the exact same cycle. My dad before they even created it with Ford, he made his own little key system to get into his fucking truck on his own. Just made it. I would say it was a good 5 or 6 years before that shit dropped with Ford. I don't even know how he did it. I couldn't tell you. I don't have genius that level. Okay, I don't he used to tease me because my brain was normal. Like, that was how my dad teased me. Your IQ isn't as high as mine, so yeah, you don't understand. Let me break it down for you. Like, he'd fuck with me like that, but he wasn't being mean. That was just how he was able to tease me, because he's never been able to be like that with anybody without it being him getting beat up or literally abused by his father, you know? Yeah, that's gonna come out. Get over it. My grandpa Stan has passed away, and sometimes he doesn't like to talk about the shit that he did to the kids and how good type of father he was. But that's how we break these curses, is we talk about it, we vocalize it, we name it for what it is. That way it can change. That way people can look at it. When you name it, then you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, that's abuse. That was abuse. Fucking yes, that's abuse. The shit that a lot of my young family members are going through right now, not just my own child, but a lot of the kids in my family are around abusive adults who were like, that's just how it is. Yeah, y'all have been toxic for generations. For generations, y'all have been destroying children's innocence and calling it parenting. And that's the type of family I come from. So I'm realizing that my child has now been taught that this is okay, that breaking someone who hurt you is strong. Man, if that man had just done his work, do you know what we could have become together? Do you know what we could have become together? And we were supposed to become that together. But the darkness that doesn't want light coming together like that. That would have been very powerful if we were all on the same side. So we had to break in somewhere, and it's just the weakest link. It was the weakest link. You are not the strongest. You were the weakest link. You fell for the devil's tricks, bro. Wow. And it just makes me laugh every time I think about it, because it's not funny, but it is. Again, I have to laugh or I'll cry, because it's like the life I was supposed to have, the life that I was robbed of, because someone else found it easier to blame me than to take accountability. And this has been going on my entire life. The majority of my family has been like this. It is easier to blame the one who's pointing out the problems than to take accountability for causing the problems. I don't know what a good birthday looks like. I had one birthday that was really awesome against 37 other birthdays that were absolute shit. I have 37 years of confirmation bias. So my only hope is that I can fall in love with somebody who just loves birthdays. You know, that's like, because when I'll tell you some things I did for my kiddo's dad for his birthday. One year, I didn't sneak into the house. His parents knew that I was coming. Back in the day, people would just leave their houses open. America, right? But anyways, I think they left the back door for me open or some shit. And I went in the house and I got the extra key for his car, because at the time he was going to a little community college. And so I got the key, and then I went and got, I don't even remember if we blew them up or I think maybe my girlfriend and I blew them up the night before, but I went alone, no one came with me, while he was in class. And I filled that bitch up with balloons to the brim, and it was like a Bronco. So like there was a lot of balloons that I had to fill it. There were a lot of balloons. So when he opened the door, balloons were just spilling out. He's got a temper, bro. I know he was pissed. He said he was so pissed. But wait, it gets better. That same birthday, I think his big present was like a ring and a watch. So that same birthday, I had gone to, I think we were working at Sears at the time together. And so I'd gone to Sears and I got a giant refrigerator box. And I took that giant refrigerator box back to his house. His parents obviously knew I was doing this. Although breaking and entering to do this would have been so fucking funny too. Anyway, y'all can't do it now. Most of these families have Ring cameras. I digress. So I got the box back to the thing. I cut it up so that it would open, but then I taped the whole box with birthday wrapping paper. and then it looked like a giant birthday box, and he had to like go into it, and then every other, I think I had like 4 other boxes. The biggest one under that, like when he opened the box, was this big. That one was wrapped. He had to unwrap it. There was another box in it, another box in it, another box in it, until he got to the store. Yeah. Made him work for it. And that was just his birthday. There was another birthday. The guy was my boss, and he was really, really empowering. He didn't do it healthy, but he empowered me in a way that I'd never been empowered before. And he did that with all the women that he built up. He kind of like built models. Dude should have had a business for building models. Seriously, he was really good at it. I got a hold of, because I was the model manager of the company at this time when I was doing this. So I contacted a ton of models, a ton of photographers, some business owners, people that owned certain businesses that we'd go back and forth and see. And I asked them all to send a video and say, hey, this is how you've changed my life. And I think everyone's video was like maybe a minute long, and they all sent it to me. So for his birthday, I put all of them together. And I'm sure he has that on CD somewhere, because who's gonna throw that away, you know? These are the things I do for birthdays. When I found out for my child's 16th birthday that he got a Happy Meal and that was his birthday, I've never wanted to plan illegal things to a person ever before. Do you know what I would have done for my child? I don't even know what I would have done for my child, because I knew I wasn't going to be with them. So I didn't even let myself dream in that extent, the things I would have done for him. And now he's being taught by a parent that birthdays are nothing. You're not supposed to be special. I used to get photographers and plan full fucking parties for my child. My child had photographers show up to his fucking birthday parties.